first off, for whoever follows these videos and watches them, if you could just take a moment to pray for one of my old youth students. Her mom passed away, and it's hard because I'm not there, and I used to be like a phone call away, and now I'm like an hour and 40 minutes away, and I wish I could just hop in the car and drive to her house, but I can't. But I've been praying for her and friends and family, and if anyone watching this will do the same. Life is very delicate, and I never want to let anger or frustration or anything keep me from my loved ones, because life is short and we don't know how much time we have with people, and there's a lot of hurting people out there in the world, and not that never mind, I'm not even gonna say that. Anyway, it's just been a tough day because I feel so awful. And my cat knocked over the garbage can. Thanks, Bruce. I feel awful for this family, and my heart just breaks. But, one second. You are a naughty kitty. That's not a good boy. I apologize. So anyway, I'm not going to give out her name or anything, but just pray for her and her family, because they're hurting, I'm sure, and their hearts are broken, and if he does it again, I'm gonna kick his butt. Bruce Banner. One second. Okay. Anyway, so today I posted something on Facebook about not letting our insecurities have impact on our qualifications or what God has qualified us to do. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, man, that's pretty relevant to what I am feeling currently. And along with that status, I posted this verse from 1 Corinthians 12, starting at verse 9. And I only posted verse 9, but I think the rest of the chapters, the whole chapter is great, but the whole Bible is great. But 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9 says, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for the sake of Christ, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong." And I love that verse so much because it's just a reminder, God's grace is sufficient for me, and the times when I'm weak, and the times when I fall short, and the times when I let my insecurities overpower the qualifications or what God would want me to do, I just remember this verse, and it's like when God called Moses to lead his people out of Egypt. Moses didn't feel qualified at all. In fact, he was like, I'm not the guy for the job, and God called him, and he used other people in his life to help carry out God's plan, and his people were delivered from slavery. And Moses, I'm sure, felt totally unqualified, being that he was an enemy of the Jews or the Hebrews, until God changed his life. And I think about this verse quite often, and just no matter how much I think I suck, or how lame I think I am, like, God's like, no, like, there's a purpose for you. You wouldn't be alive today if there wasn't a purpose for you. And like, we are all created with a purpose. I don't care who you are, what you believe in. I mean, I care who you are and I care what you believe in, but I mean, like, no matter what background you have, no matter how ugly of a past, or what you are, what you're doing, like, there is a purpose for all of us, and I truly believe that. And for me personally, I need to stop letting my insecurities get the best of me, because I mean, I have a lot of them, and a lot of it is just me projecting how I feel about myself onto other people, assuming that other people feel that way about me when it's not true, if that makes any sense. But I love that verse because it's also very humbling. When I am weak, God is strong, and it's accepting that strength, and also being okay with being weak. For a long time, I didn't think it was okay to be weak, and it wasn't that I was necessarily told that. That's what I assumed. I assumed that it wasn't okay to be weak, that I had to be strong 100% of the time, and you know what? That put a lot of pressure on me. And it all came crumbling down, and God is always there reminding us, like, we are not good enough on our own, but Christ with us makes us great, and we're capable of doing things that we weren't capable of doing without him. The Bible talks about God being the author and perfecter of our faith, and I believe that's true. Like, Christ has orchestrated everything, and we need only to trust in him and rely on him, and not be prideful, but being humble and accepting, okay, I'm weak and I need God's strength, because without him, I'm nothing. It's the same thing in relationships. Like, there's only so much patience you can have for a person. There's only so much love that you can give naturally. There's only so much forgiveness that you can give naturally within our human capacity. But then we have to turn to God and ask him for that supernatural love and healing and forgiveness and understanding that we don't have on our own, if that makes any sense. Like, it's like I don't know how a good metaphor or analogy or whatever for it, but It's true. Yeah. Anyway, that's my ramble. I'm pretty tired. It's been a long, emotion-filled day, and I know there's a lot of people with health issues as well. I'm going in for another ultrasound on Tuesday, and I'm pretty terrified. Not gonna lie. Just with what's going on, I'm just praying that there's answers out there, because the alternatives to the situation that I'm currently in is not fun, and probably it's pretty scary. So anyway, I am just saying a massive prayer for the people who are sick, and whose loved ones have passed, and just praying for peace and comfort for everybody. So good night, happy Sunday. We'll see you guys on Monday.